Hey everyone, I am here again with one of my biz besties, Lisa Marie, the wealth coach, sassy wealth queen. And today we're going to chat about something that is super important. I posted about it, I don't know, maybe a month or so ago. And Lisa and I talk about this a lot with our clients, and it's something that I see on the internet streets being talked about as well. And it has to do with money mindset and budgeting and scarcity mindset and how they all intertwine. And we see confusion when it comes to setting up a budget, and it creates a scarcity mindset. And you can have a budget and not have a scarcity mindset, and vice versa. So we're going to talk about how they're all intertwined, how that it can affect your money journey and your money mindset. And we just really want to make sure that y'all had the right support when it comes to money mindset and wealth. So before we dive into this conversation, again, my name is Carla Yukman. I am founder and wealth planner of Artemis Wealth Management, and I am not your father's advisor. And I work with women and historically excluded communities where I create a safe space for them to create wealth their own way. And I do that through my financial planning programs, my wealth programs, investment side of things, insurance services. And I just really want to make sure people get the right education on finances so that they're not just getting the information from these TikToks and internet streets. So that's who I am. Lisa, please introduce yourself.
I'm Lisa Marie. I'm the Sassy Wealth Queen. I am the founder of the Sassy Wealth Coach, and I work with women entrepreneurs who are ready to stand on their own 2 feet. So I work with women entrepreneurs for them to create, retain, and expand wealth aligned with their desires, their goals, and their values, using the 5 wealth codes. And I'm really passionate about it. Because when we use the 5 wealth codes and we are creating and retaining and expanding wealth the way it values with aligns with us, with ourselves, we're able to do more. And in that process, I work with them is either one-on-one as a CFO and wealth coach, in one-on-one in hand, or hand in hand, excuse me, or my deep dive days. And in those, we work on the mindset, and we work on just the different areas of creating, retaining, and expanding that wealth, so that you know what's going on with your money, so that you can do the investments and those things. And that might be looking at your debt, but we look at the whole big picture, including all those big audacious goals that you want, because I think it's really important. So yeah, that's me.
Well, thanks for joining me again. I'm excited for us to chat about this. And you just talked about, okay, so you're working on the money mindset portion of it. And I talk about that with my clients, but not as deep dive as what you do. And that's why I love partnering up with you and collaborating, because I help my clients with the budget side of things. I really deep dive into the numbers. We create budgets. We look at how are we going to reach our money goals. And you're working on the mindset portion of it. And if we don't have both of those connected, then we can't, really efficiently reach our money goals. So
Right.
what are the things that you see when it comes to, the wealth money mindset and the scarcity of money?
Well, I mean, here's the thing: is like we were talking before. There's a difference between scarcity mindset, and a budgeting mindset, right? Or money mindset. And I work with my clients both mindset and numbers. We dig deep into the numbers, but a lot of times when I have clients coming to me, um, they'll have some type of mindset that needs to be tweaked, or majority of the time. So, like, they'll have a scarcity mindset of, you want me to do what with my money? Like they're afraid that if they're going to, divvy it up into accounts or whatever and start investing and doing these things, they're afraid it's going to disappear on them. Whereas budgeting mindset is, I know I'm going to be okay. I know I can make more money. I don't need to have a budget. That's where that's not a scarcity mindset. It's a mindset of, I don't need a budget because I'm not broke. And what
Mhm.
I try to tell them is, okay, you're looking at budget, meaning it's going to be restrictive, and it's not, which is the reason why I call it we build a money roadmap. Because basically, to me, I'm not broke and I have a money roadmap that I go by and I tweak it every month for my business and then one for my personal. And that thing has saved me time and time again because, when things are increased or things are decreased, I can go and look and say, oh, this has been taken care of. I'm no longer having this. Okay, where do I want this money to be allocated? So whatever that expense was that's done or whatever, I'll take it and put it somewhere else. And being able to show someone that has that budgeting mindset of, no, I'm not going to budget, they don't have a scarcity. They have a mindset of they don't need the budget and it's not going to help them because they're not broke. Whereas what I try to say is a money roadmap actually is your GPS so you can tell your money where you want it to go. And a lot of times I'll end up showing them where their money leaks are. Especially if they don't want budget, I'll show them, well, are you sure you know exactly where all your money is going? Yes. Okay, well, let's do a dive into the last 3 months of your expenses. Let's see if you really know how much is going to these areas. And 9 out of 10 times, they don't realize exactly how much because they don't
Mhm.
really look at it because they've got this mindset of they don't have the scarcity mindset, which is great. They don't. They can make more, so they're not worried about it. However, when you or I can sit down and show them what they're actually having go down the drain, that if they had a money roadmap, that they could actually be further along and have more or give back and expand the wealth, etc. They're like, oh, so you're not trying to take things away from me. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not telling
Right.
you to stop doing the things. I'm telling you to be aware of what's going on with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that because you're actually in more control. I talk about this too. When you know your numbers, you're actually in more control. And uh, the scarcity mindset that I see, even for people that have lots of money, um, they're afraid that they're not going to be able to live the life that they want and have the things that they want, because I see a lot of times people going, okay, well, if you don't buy this Starbucks, then you could have saved this and you could have done this and this and this. And it's not about that. It's about how do we maximize every single dollar that comes through
Mhm.
your portfolios, and say, okay, if that's something important for you to have your, $7, $10 coffee, we're going to budget, we're going to create a budget for that. And we want you to live the life that you love. It's not about, I'm going to cut every single thing out that I absolutely love in life and, only live a very, basic life. We don't want that for you. We want you to feel fulfilled. We want you to have, and spend the money that you want on
Mhm.
things that you enjoy.
Yeah. And the thing is, scarcity mindset is I'm gonna be honest, I sometimes I still get it. I do a lot of work. Okay. I'm a wealth coach. I do a lot of work with the scarcity mindset. And that's the reason why I'm great helping my clients is because I know the tools to do. And I still have a coach that helps me because I always say every new level, there's a new devil. And that's because every time you're up leveling. So, perfect examples, I've been up leveling my business. There's been shifts. You and I've talked about this. There's been
Yeah.
shifts in the business. And during those shifts, some of this that's I'm gonna be honest, scarcity came up big time. And that's where, is this gonna work? Or I'm gonna go back, especially when you haven't come from money, or especially when you started, like you and I started from ground up, no
Mhm.
money, started all of a sudden you got this scarcity going. What are you doing? Why are you rocking the boat? This is, all those things. That's the scarcity. That's the lack mindset of
Mhm.
you're going to lose it all. None of this is working. Um, you're going to go backwards. You're going to go back to, all the things. I have tools and I work on that. The entire time I'm working on that, I still have my money roadmap, my budget, your financial plan, whatever you can call it, whatever you want. Okay. I still have it and I'm still using it. So that mindset is fine. Though that helps me because if your revenues decrease some, especially when you're an entrepreneur, if you have a revenues decreased and you're having to decrease what you pay yourself, you want to see where you can make the cuts and still live the lifestyle you want to live, but make it sure that you're still in your means. And as entrepreneurs, our revenue sometimes is going to decrease and then sometimes it's going to fluctuate back up. Okay, now what do I want to do with that? Like for me, um, I have a business line of credit. I know when my revenue increases back up, one of the things I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be paying that even more down faster. So the budgeting mindset part is fine. And I've been doing the work on the scarcity. And so sometimes you will have someone who will have both because they've got that scarcity so bad, they don't even want to think about, right? Budget because they've got both. But a lot of times, um, they'll they're okay on the scarcity part, or the lack part. It's the budgeting part.
I think I see that a lot with especially entrepreneurs because they don't know their numbers. And when you don't know your numbers, that scarcity mindset comes in.
Yes,
And
especially with entrepreneurs, you'll have
mhm,
you'll have the scarcity mindset, and it'll a lot of times hide, and take over that budgeting part, because it's so over empowering, and it's got you making you feel like you can never make more or you need to be happy where you're at because it'll all disappear.
and one of the things that I see too is so we have the budgeting portion of it, but what about the taxes and inflation and what's going on? And so in the economy, and if so, we got the budget and we got the roadmap and the blueprint, like you said, whatever we want to call it. But on the other side of things, if we don't have all that information plugged into a sophisticated software, then we're still opening ourselves up to that scarcity mindset and being afraid of losing it all or even being afraid to invest into ourselves as business owners because we don't know where those numbers are. If we can't project what inflation is going to do and what taxes are going to do, then we're still in that mindset of we can't invest in ourselves and our future. And so
Yeah,
that's
so
one
what
of
I
the things that I see.
yeah, and what I do is, I help my clients. They'll come to me, and when I say we build a money roadmap, we're taking all the things into consideration, right? Your income, your estimated taxes, we're taking all of those things into consideration and putting in the money roadmap. And then I tell them, I'm going to do an estimate based off of what I see off of your P&L. That is the only thing I have information privileged to. You need to go talk to your CPA or a financial advisor, whoever it is you have. And if you don't have one, I'll refer somebody for them to be
Mhm,
able to give you the deeper part. And reason why what I do helps them is
mhm.
because normally they're not doing any type of planning for their estimated taxes and they end up owing an astronomical amount of money and they're like, where the hell, what happened? And what it is they're seeing, oh, I made 300, I got $100,000 in this week. Okay, great. I can pay myself this and I can put this up. No, stop. You need to be putting a percentage of that up. And I say, it's the reason why I'm so adamant about, the different bank accounts and have it to, I don't care if you only want to have two extra ones. One of them should be a tax savings account that you don't ever touch. It's not your money. I have one client that has tax in parentheses, not my money, so that she knows never to touch it.
Yeah.
And she says it reminds her brain whenever she's looking at the bank account, do not touch that money, because she
Mhm.
knows I'm going to say something if she does.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that's fine. Mine's called tax savings because I know not to touch it. Hers is tax, not my money. Um, and so a percentage goes into that. And what we do is we estimate higher, okay? And we don't do it off the net. We do it off of the gross. And here's why. It's because I don't have the information that Carla or your CPA is going to have. So when I do it off of the gross, so basically you receive $100,000, if I determine, okay, you probably need to be putting 25%, we're doing 25% off that 100, not off the net. Two reasons. One, I don't have access to the information. And two, if we waited until the net, can anybody tell me what's going to happen?
Mhm.
There won't be any money
Right.
left. So
Yeah.
doing it off of when it comes in off of the gross, 9 out of 10 times is going to give you a cushion, okay, to be able to, when Carla goes, okay, this is actually what you're looking at, you're going to go, not a problem, because Marie's been making me put 30% in there, even though my net. So now I got extra.
Mhm.
That's my whole goal, is for them to have a surplus in that tax savings, so that if all of a sudden they have a huge increase in their revenue, then we're covered, because we have a cushion. Even if we adjust, we're okay. Or if it's regular, whatever, then we've got extra, and then we can determine, okay, do we leave some of it in there for the following year, or what do we do with it? I have one client, she had some in there, and we divided it between her financial planner, put part of it into one of her stock investments, and then the other part just stayed in there. And so that's the cool thing about, doing it. But I always tell them, to have specifics, you need to have, the CPA or financial planner. What I can do is guesstimate based off of the information you give me, and then I automatically round up and add cushion. And people are like, "Why you do that?" I said, "Because I don't have all of the information in front of me,
Yeah.
so I round up and guesstimate. I always estimate higher."
Yeah.
some,
No,
some
that's
people some people don't do that, though. There's wealth coaches and money coaches,
yeah.
they don't do that. They just say,
No.
"Oh, this is this, so we're only gonna do, it's 22, 51, 38. We're gonna do 22, 52." Me, I'm rounding up to like 2,800 or 3,000, just because.
Well, and that's where knowing your numbers is so important,
Mhm.
because when we're working in the personal side of things, and like tax planning on my side, um, I actually have software that shows what your 1040 is going to be for the
Mhm.
year. What that is it shows all your deductions, what your income is projected to be. And what I do is I put all of that into my software that only financial planners, by the way, can have. And then you also have CPAs that have um, certain software with this. And what is so important is when you're working with Lisa Marie on that end, we're saying, okay, we're going to pay ourselves this amount of money from the business, and we're going to use this to reach multiple money goals. But how is that going to affect your taxes? Do we need to make sure that we don't pay ourselves a certain amount, or do we need to
Mhm.
make sure that we're putting money into certain retirement accounts to help with that tax exposure? Do we need to make sure that our business brings in a certain amount of revenue in order to reach those money goals? So it all is intertwining with the reports and knowing your numbers. And those are things that I help my clients with, is um, it's running those numbers and making sure that we're not just guesstimating, and we
Right.
understand exactly where everything's going. And it's so important to make sure that you have a money team that works together. I always say plays nice in the sandbox, because if you're working with both of us, we get along. We understand that I don't do what she does. She doesn't do what I do. There is going to be some overlap, but guess what? Great. that it's good to have a little bit of overlap. It's not a competition on who knows more. It's how are we going to get you to your ultimate money goals and do it in the most efficient
Right.
way and help you with the
Mhm.
money mindset, help you just live the best life that you possibly can when it comes to your wealth. So I appreciate everything that you do with your clients because it mirrors really well with what I do with my clients because there is a little bit of gap. I don't, by the way, I don't go into people's business revenue. Like, I do not do that. Like, that is not what I do. I do not go into their books. What I say is, hey, your business, though, needs to make this amount of money for you to pay yourself to do this. So now we need to talk to Lisa Marie on all
And
of
I go into it,
that.
yeah.
Right.
Um, and as a here's the thing. In my previous life, I was CFO and a billing auditor, so I can go into bank accounts and I can look and I can say, okay, this is, you can tell me I've got this much debt and I've got this much money to pay the debt off, and I want to do this. Which ways, what's best to tackle first? I can literally give you 4 different ways on a spreadsheet, and you can choose which one would best suit you. That's just how my brain works. So having that CFO knowledge and taking the wealth coach into it, I'm one of the few that actually intertwine both. Okay. And yes, I have accounting experience. So I'm not a bookkeeper, though. I'm going to say that really, really, I am not a bookkeeper. I do have a bookkeeper on my team. Okay. And if you do not have someone handling your business books, we will offer that for an extra fee. So that, we'll look at, we make sure, because again, she's right. If your books aren't in order, or you can't, like, how many times people, and this is nothing against y'all, your books have to be in order. And sometimes when you think they're in order, they're not. And it could be because you had someone who was doing it for you, but they're only doing it quarterly, or they're only doing it at the end of the year. And that's fine. And I don't think that's helpful. And here's the reason why. Your books tell you what's already happened. So if I want to know what's happened in April, and you don't do the books and classify the stuff until the end of December and the end of the year, I can't tell you what the difference was between March and April, or between April of this year and April of last year. Whereas if you have someone who's doing it monthly, okay, weekly and monthly, and is up to date like that, we can go and look week to week, and we can see what's going on, what's already happened, if there's been a dip, if there's been a change. And that's really important, especially as an entrepreneur with revenue. And so, as a CFO, I'm able to look at your bank accounts and help you go, okay, you want to take on this added expense and you're investing here. Let's see what's going on with the money, and if it's actually there for you to do that. And if not, what do we need to do to be able to get you there? Where Carla comes in is doing that investment and being able, your life insurance, all that stuff. And I tell everybody all the time, I can help you to a certain point. I can help you save. I can help you say allocate, and I can guesstimate based off of the information I have. What I even love more is when you're working with a CPA and a financial advisor, or one or the other, when we play nice in the sandbox and they provide that information or give you that information and then you give it to me, that gives me even more information on what to look at and go, oh, okay, this is what we need to make sure we're at least doing. So I want to do this or more.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if
Yeah.
there's a change, and so having those numbers, like you giving me numbers for this inflation and being I can then go and work my magic and make sure we're putting more, what I mean, at least that
Yep.
or more. And so that's what I do. And you're right, being able to work together. I even have an enrolled agent, and she's my plan. I have her as a planner throughout the year, and that's because she has all of my information, my business, my personal, and she can go in and say, "Okay, Lisa, this is what's going on. Uh, this is where you're at." I mean, matter of fact, because of South Carolina and the IRS and whatever they've done with entrepreneurship, um, it's I said, "Look, I wanna know if I need to become an S corp yet." I want to know if it's going to save me. And when I say I want to know if it's going to save me money, I don't mean it's going to save me $2,500 and then I'm going to spend $2,500 to file 2 tax returns and run payroll. I want to know it's going to save me enough money that where it's actually more money than what I'm going to spend somewhere else.
Well,
um,
and and that's where the tax comes in
Exactly, and that's
because
what she was able to look at and tell me whether or not
mhm,
it was. She's like, "Lisa, it actually doesn't make sense." She said, "This is how much it's gonna save you, and this is how much you would end up going and spending on here, and it's right around the same much." I was like, "Okay, then I'm not doing anything, I'm waiting."
well, and that's
Once I get up
actually
to a certain number, then it's gonna make more sense. And again,
mhm,
I'm not guessing. I've got someone who's like you're talking about, looking at the taxes, looking at that the difference of where I'm at. And she's even
mhm,
said, once you get to this number, I think we're gonna have to. Okay, great.
mhm.
But so often, so many people go and jump into like an S corp right at the beginning, and we're not going to get into that. But sometimes it just doesn't make sense to do that, and so you're guesstimating what the stuffs are, and having a professional who can tell you when it makes sense, and having a financial planner be able to see the inflation and those things. It just makes sense. I
Well,
tell my clients
yeah.
all the time, you need several people on your money team, not just one person.
Well, yeah, you're right. So a couple things that you said, and I want to make sure that people understand what financial planners do compared to like what CPAs do.
Mhm.
So I actually I have tax planning. So what that means is we will look to the future also to see what your tax exposure would be if you moved from an LLC to an S corp, and then also with budgeting on the personal side of things, we do go line by line of your bank statements and we create a budget. Now, it's different than what you're talking about because I'm not, I'm creating a budget for you, but it's different because what we're trying to do is look at, the numbers and help with the scarcity mindset. We could keep talking for another like half an hour of everything of what happens and how we do all that. But what I find though is people are hiring professionals that are not able to give you the right numbers. And that's where I see people coming in and saying, "Hey, I worked with this person that isn't qualified to be giving that information and then also doesn't have even the software to do that because you have to be licensed and you also have to be paying for that software like an attorney, CPA, or financial planner. They're not going to just let anybody on the streets
Right.
purchase the software. So when you get to that point with business planning and tax planning,
You need to
you
have
want to work somebody.
somebody. Like I said,
Yeah, you want to work
I
with
have somebody
myself.
who does my tax planning, okay? I have
Exactly.
somebody. I
Well, and
pay
there's
her,
difference
you
between
know?
tax planning and tax preparation.
No,
So
no,
that's
but that's what I'm
another
saying.
thing.
She that right, exactly.
Right.
She's my
And
tax planning and my preparation, but not all
right.
CPAs will do tax planning and tax prep, and that's the big,
No.
huge difference. She does both, so I pay her a certain amount of money to have her all year long for tax planning, totally
Mhm.
separate from the tax preparation.
Yeah. And I don't know very many that actually, because here's the thing, it is a lot of work
Mhm.
to do tax preparation and tax planning. And so you want to have your money team talking about that, which is also going to help with your scarcity mindset and
Well,
everything.
yeah,
But
because when you have
we're
the
almost
right
up on
money,
our 30 minutes. I can't
we
believe it.
are. I can't either.
I'm
But
like, we can keep talking.
I'm going to say this one thing. When you have these people on your team, you're going to find your scarcity mindset is not nearly what it was before when you have the right people. And it might be you start off with one and gradually add more, but you want to make sure you've got the people on your team.
Yep, exactly, exactly. So, um, again, we're up on our 30 minutes. We want to try to keep this to 30 minutes or a little less because we know you all have stuff to do in your life. So, but what you can do is If you're catching us at the end, there is a couple different ways that you can connect with us. And we are partnering up and collaborating with other people when it comes to wealth
Mhm.
and money. There is a new group, and I'll let Lisa Marie talk about that she has, and then also podcasts. And both of us go live on our pages. And so there's a lot of different ways that you can connect with
Yes.
us and get more information. And then once you're ready, you can reach out to either one of us. We are very open with saying, okay, this is what you need. You need
And
to
it's
talk
not me.
to this
Yeah.
person and it's not me.
Yeah.
And even if we have an appointment with you and after that, during that appointment, we're like, okay, this isn't where you need to be right now. We will tell you, you need to contact
Mhm.
the other person. So,
Yeah.
talk about your new Facebook group.
The community, it's called Wealth Queen Collective, and it is just what it says. It's surrounded by you creating, retaining, expanding your wealth aligned with your values, your goals, your desires, and we have a I think we have 6 or 7 group experts in there that are, uh, from fitness trainer, life coach, to financial planner, to business coach, to somatic, money movement, music movement coach, to there's gonna be a couple more coming in there soon, and the whole aspect of it is so that you have experts in all the areas. Some of us are going to overlap, but in all the areas so that you're fully supported to grow your business and to have the lifestyle and that you want, and it be on your terms, aligned with your values and your desires. And I believe that in order to be truly wealthy, we need to be wealthy in all the areas of the different codes, which is the 5 wealth codes to be in wealthy, and that's I can't talk. That's the spiritual, the physical, the mental, the energetic, and financial. And so all of the group experts in there believe in that holistic growth and believe in empowerment and believe in collaborating and not competing. And that's what we're wanting. We're wanting to lift each other up. And I'm going to be honest, I said this with my with Karina, who's another person that I collaborate with, and we're all good friends. I didn't choose the group experts just for y'all. I know I'm going to learn a whole bunch of stuff from all of these ladies. I mean, matter of fact, one of them is my fitness trainer. So I know I learn new stuff from Carla all the time, and I learn stuff from Karina. I pulled them and asked them to be in there as group experts because I wanted it to be a true collective so that you can learn, and they're going to be posting values. They're going to be educating you. And yes, you're going to be able to buy from them services and whatever, and you're going to be able to sign up for their stuff, but we're all going to be in there actively um, doing our thing. And so that's what I love about it. So
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. I'm excited. It's a space that I haven't seen at all on Facebook, and I just love what you're putting together. So
thank you.
thank you for doing that. And so, yeah, we will catch you next time. Watch
That's
us
right.
next week. And again, catch your podcast. You
Oh,
didn't
my
say your
podcast. See, it's Cash and Sass, and it's candid cash conversations with me, Lisa Marie, and it's you can find it everywhere, on YouTube as well for the videos, and we drop a new episode live every Thursday. And it's what it is. It's candid conversations about anything and everything money. So financial planning. Uh, m- I've got an attorney that's coming on there, and we're going to be talking about covering
Mhm.
your butt and what things you need to do, because people are like, "What's that got to do with money?" Everything.
Mhm.
So we have all different types of entrepreneurs and experts that are on there, and then there's episodes with just me, and it's what it is. We're having candid conversations about anything and everything to do with money, wealth, money mindset, all those things.
Mhm.
Because it's something I've not seen out there, and I think it was time for it to happen, and so I started it.
Okay, everyone. Well, we will see you next week. Thanks for
Yes,
joining us.
ma'am. Bye.